President Biden said the economy under his watch is, quote, the envy of the world. Roll tape.
My inherited economy is on the brink. Now our economy is literally the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years, a record, a record. Unemployment at 50-year lows. A record 16 million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is a literal act of hope.
All right, Peter Morici is an economist, and he joins me now. Envy of the world. I should point out that we do have a better growth rate than any other industrial democracy. That's true, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. We probably have a better growth rate than China because they cook the numbers so badly. But what's the comparison? Europe, which has the kinds of policies he would bring to America, is not growing at all. China, which has perfected the kinds of policies, industrial policies and so forth, and command and control, is in deflation. So this is kind of like bragging. My son was elected to the, Central American ice hockey team. It's silly. Right now, the competition is pretty poor. But what's really disturbing is how much of this growth in jobs is in the public sector or subsidized by the public sector, and is consequently built on all the borrowing we're doing. The deficit is so much larger. Basically, you've got an economy on speed, not an economy with healthy growth. And sooner or later, that comes back to bite you. Ask the Chinese, ask the Japanese, ask the Germans and the French. This comes back to bite you.
Okay, before we leave the subject, what did you think of the speech last night?
Oh, I think that the progressive pundits are overestimating how good it was, and his critics are kind of overestimating how bad it was. In reality, he gave a decent speech. It's not hard to do that. You'd basically repeat on the teleprompter 100 times in your office the speech, and then you take a long nap. And at 75, I can play 15 minutes of very good basketball, and I can bike with the best of them for half an hour. But I can't do a 4-hour ride with young men, and neither can he. I would like to see Joe Biden actually take questions from Stuart Varney. You're a pretty decent, nice guy. It wouldn't, he's not going to do that. Can you imagine him debating somebody like Donald Trump? This is going to be interesting.
It's not going to happen. I can't imagine a debate. However, it's not entirely off the table, that's for sure. I want to talk to you about the jobs report, 275,000 added last month. What does this say about the state of the economy, in your opinion?
Terribly dependent on government borrowing. As your correspondent pointed out, so much of it is in healthcare, social services, the government, state and local governments, and so forth. The economy is experiencing moderate growth, not what its potential of accomplishing, because so much messing around has been done with the economy. For example, the automobile sector is in pretty sorry shape. I mean, General Motors has not figured out how to build an electric car at a profit. With all of its money and resources, think about what Musk has done, distracted, working part-time, to Mary Barra. Working part-time, he's managed to make, profitable cars. The Ford Motor Company, much the same. They can't make electric vehicles, but yet he keeps pumping money into them, and what do? They raise Mary's salary. She's the best-paid auto executive, and they jump up the UAW pay. Look at Intel and so forth. Intel was once the premier maker of, semiconductor chips in the world. He's pumping a lot of money into it through the CHIPS Act, but we have a 45% cost disadvantage. It's not a labor-intensive sector. It's not one where the Chinese have a natural advantage, but yet we can't do it well. He's doing nothing to fix that. He's just basically subsidizing them. So my feeling is this jobs report is kind of like, a guy going by me on the bike when he's got a motor. And I'm pedaling.
I got it.
It's not playing fair.
Okay. Peter Morici, come and see us again soon. We could always
Take care.
use an economist.